Whenever you're ready.
Is it on me to start it?
Yes, it's your channel.
Your channel, your show.
What do I say?
Welcome to the video game.
How did you introduce GCP?
Hey guys, welcome to Videogames XD. Sorry about the title.
What title?
Are we using that?
We were lazy in the title.
You know, it was democratic. It was a vote.
We can blame.
Yeah.
We can blame the Discord.
There was a Discord vote.
We can blame the Discord for this.
We also voted, but we had no part.
It's a draw, by the way.
Is it a draw or did someone unvote?
No, it's a draw.
I unvoted my 3 other votes.
Oh right.
No, it's 4
and
each.
then somebody else voted.
So I just had 1
now.
vote.
Alright.
And it's for Videogames
Alright,
XD.
let's just keep Videogames XD for now.
Yeah, that's the one we're using.
It's the first episode, we can change it if necessary.
So we're going to talk about video games.
And XD.
Oh, the XD.
XD is optional.
Yes.
If we have the time.
If only necessary.
So the general format, at least what we're considering so far, because this is all subject to change and this is a pilot, quote unquote. We'll talk about monthly. I'm assuming this will be every month.
Yeah, we said we'd do it monthly.
So we'll talk about any announcements, whatever video games coming out, maybe
That
what
are
we've been
interesting.
playing. Yeah.
We've also got some bigger topics in general.
Yeah, we'd also like to discuss just general topics, like accessibility in gaming is one we considered.
Yeah, that could be very fruitful. Because it's a really big topic.
And hopefully anyone who wants to add anything can add it in comments below if we tease certain topics.
Oh, yes, we could. Well, isn't the next one's going to be Halloween, isn't it? So we said we're going to do like horror related.
Oh yeah, next one will be month of October, obviously. So
the only idea over it.
I'm looking forward to that.
Was Resident Evil sort of favorite game, thought on its progression, that kind of stuff.
I'm going to play 0-1 quicker than I realised. Oh well.
Yeah.
That is...
So again, we got Resident Evil. That's the only one I've come up with so far. Hopefully there'll be others.
Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah.
I like Luigi's Mansion.
What makes a real horror game? Well, not real, but what makes it horror rather than just horror themed?
I haven't played that.
Yeah.
We could talk about Silent Hill, but I've played none.
I've played like an hour of one, and then I
I
stopped.
wouldn't mind trying to play some more of them. But I feel we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yes, we are
So-
definitely. We're talking about a month in advance.
Yeah, that's what we should be with.
Should we talk about what games we've been playing, or is that, I don't know how.
I think we should.
Yeah, sure.
It's
Do you want to start,
pretty
Peggy?
interesting.
Alright, so what games have you guys been playing
Ryan, you
recently?
can go first.
Okay, I recently restarted playing Super Paper Mario because I left it for a few months.
Oh, okay.
How far have you got?
I got through the first chapter, and that was a couple days ago. Yeah, it's mechanically solid, like flipping from 2D to 3D, but there is no RPG elements to it.
I miss the RPG elements.
It's a platformer with what's it called? Like the boss fights, you just gotta jump on their heads, like
Mario.
It's like a normal Mario boss fight, isn't it?
Yeah. Except they've got a lot more. You gotta do a lot more damage to them instead of your casual free
They
hit
put
points.
dot matrix numbers above each jump.
Yeah, it's just like a more RPG Mario, isn't it? You've got like other crew members or whatever.
Yeah, I think I just like Peach has just arrived for us.
Oh, okay.
She's got like some ability with her parasol umbrella thing, where she
She can
just
glide or something, can't
glide. Yeah.
she? Have you played any of the other ones?
No, I have Sticker Star, and I'll play that afterwards.
1000 Year Door. You gotta play 1000 Year Door.
Yes, but I like to buy the game, and
Yeah, Door's notoriously
100,
expensive.
like almost 100 quid. No thanks.
Is it really?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's very. It was expensive anyway, but it got more because of
unfortunate
lockdown and everything.
times.
Yeah, everyone's bored, so they're buying games, and 1000 Year Door was one of the ones to get hiked up in price.
The Wii games, the Wii and the Wii games, very much got hiked in price over lockdown period.
The Wii went up by like
40 quid.
3 or 4 times, pretty much its normal price.
Yeah.
I think it's come down a bit now.
The games
but
are
it was
slowly
mad.
coming down as well. Unless you're No More Heroes 2.
Oh yeah, No More Heroes 2 has just gone up. I bought that. I bought that in lockdown, but I got the French version. It was cheaper on eBay. I didn't know it was the French one till it arrived. It's like French English, so the back is both of them, the manual is both of them.
So they just say "le" every other word, like Reddit.
Yeah.
Le Funny Frog.
The Videogames XD.
I was just about to say. I'm not one to talk about low-tier, lowbrow
Can we
comedy.
please call it Le Video Games XD?
No, that's a bridge too far.
Nah.
Sam, what have you been playing?
I went through a lot of the Ratchet & Clank games I have again. Because,
In anticipation for PS5 Ratchet and Clank, or
kind of. I won't be getting that for a while, because I'm not made of money. But I'm seeing the trailer for that, and the gameplay footage made me want to go back and play them again. So I played through 1, 2, and 3 again on New Game Plus. 1 is still my favourite of the first 3. It doesn't control as well, but I just prefer it. I played Gladiator. I finished that yesterday, and that's more like an arena combat game, and that was okay. And I got the Platinum Trophy in the PS4 one, which is my first Platinum, because it was a relatively easy one.
you only like the first one because of the mildly obscene Easter egg.
The mildly obscene Easter egg.
The one with the alien woman whose bust size goes up.
Oh right, yeah. She did like side flips or whatever in front of it.
It's so weird.
Oh,
That
okay.
is an odd one.
Have you picked up Secret Agent Clank yet?
Yeah, I got that when I got my PSP like a month or 2 ago, and
What was that?
it doesn't deserve the hate it gets. A lot of people hated it, but I think it's just they played the PS2 version of it,
Isn't
which
like
is
the
a notoriously
PS2
bad
port
port.
like awful or something?
It's nowhere near as good as the PSP one. It feels very good on the PSP. Like, it looks good for the time it came out, and it controls well.
Was there another Ratchet and Clank game on PSP?
Yeah, there was Size Matters, which is like a more standard Ratchet and Clank game.
Was that a PSP like original?
Yeah, that was made for the PSP, then ported to PS2 a year later, like Secret Agent Clank was. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've been playing as of recent. I beat Yakuza 0 like a month ago,
Oh, cool.
which was it was a good game. I want to play more of the series, but not immediately, because the
Yeah,
combat gets a bit old after when you finish the game.
I enjoy the games, but well, I've played 0 and then the remakes of 1 and 2, but
Right.
I think spacing it out, playthroughs is the way to go.
Yeah. So I'll probably get Kiwami in the next year. So in 2021 at some point. Probably March time, I don't know. Just give myself a break from the series.
Yeah.
7 will come out by the time you get it.
Yeah. I mean, the good thing is all of them are on PS4.
Oh yeah,
They
you've got the
ported-
remastered collection, don't you?
Yeah, they did, because they made Yakuza 0, and that was PS3 and PS4. They remade 1 and 2 as Kiwami. I think 6 was made for the PS4, wasn't it?
Yeah, 6 with
Yeah.
PS4 only.
Okay, 7's coming out in like a month or 2. And then they remastered 3, 4, and 5 for PS4.
I believe 7's already out in Japan.
Oh, okay.
I'll look at...
Yeah, they come out earlier in Japan anyway.
Yeah, because it's called Like a Dragon, isn't it?
Yeah,
Just basically call it 7 at this point.
yeah, that's pretty much all I've been playing recently.
Yeah, it came out in January.
What about you, Figgy? What have you been playing?
I've been boring, typical person, just playing Animal Crossing. Although,
Right.
is that still typical now? I don't know.
I think
If
I think
the
a lot of
hype's
people are
died
still
down-
playing it, but it's nowhere near as big as it was like the month or so following it coming out, because like it was huge.
It's still been fairly regularly updated though, so
I've been on the
It's
4-month burnout because of it. I tried to pick up the other day and I just can't do it. I just have to...
I do a little bit every day, or I play it mindlessly. I'm not doing it with much purpose in mind, particularly outside of Nook Miles and daily rewards and stuff.
Mm.
It's diabolical. It's got well, I guess it's not so bad in that it doesn't have it's not hooking you for like microtransactions or anything like that, but it does take your time.
Yeah. So you've just been playing Animal Crossing?
And Tetris 99, if that counts.
That counts, yeah, it's a game.
It's a video game.
I'm always playing Tetris 99, just doing daily challenges. So
Right.
I'll try and be more interesting for the month of October. I swear.
You have to play some
mean,
Halloween.
You've got experience
game.
of Resident Evil, so that'll be good for you.
Yes.
How many Resi games have you actually played?
Let's see. Resident Evil 4 was the first one I played, the Wii edition. I really love
the
that.
best version, the fact.
It is really good. Then Umbrella Chronicles, and then 5, and then 6.
Oh, 6 is going to be a fun discussion.
Yeah, that can be an interesting discussion.
A little bit of 7,
Right.
and like some of the remakes.
What
I need to get more on them.
What did you get? Did you buy them or did you play the demos?
I have them, but they're backlog.
Right.
I think I watched Sam play Resident Evil 3 demo just before lockdown began.
Yeah.
Well, the original Resident Evil remake that was for GameCube that they've retouched seems to be on everything. You seem to get it in like humble bundles and sold in packs and that. So
Yeah, they go
I
for
think I've
like
got that on like, multiple systems.
they go for like a
That's why I
couple
look at every
quid on PC, but I decided I'll just chuck basically a tenner at it on GameCube. Play it on a original art.
Silly boy.
Yeah,
Chad GameCube edition.
well, like Resident Evil 1 and 0 are the only GameCube Resi games I really want to pick up due to prices.
Is Resident Evil 4 prohibitively expensive now?
No, it's like a couple, like 10, 15. Like 2 and 3 are like in the 40s. And Code
To the
Veronica
point where it's cheaper to just buy the remake.
on like PS4.
Yeah.
And Code Veronica
I never think about that one.
I was in HMV the other day and I saw a vinyl of that. It had cool cover art, but
Well, for the soundtrack for the game.
yeah.
if
But I don't actually know what any of the soundtrack is like, so it wouldn't have been a wise purchase.
Code Veronica X is like 30 quid on GameCube compared to the 3 quid on PS2.
Yeah, it's really cheap on PS2, which is good. Excited for PS2.
I'm gonna get a PS2 at some point. But Code Veronica X comes like with a demo of DMC1. It's not much use to me considering I've played one now, but
Now you can play the demo.
Okay, so what's been happening in the news, guys?
so 1 NES game and 3 SNES games were announced. The NES game was called Scat, so I didn't really want to research that.
Oh, yeah.
What does it stand for? It's like
Special something team.
Yeah,
Action team. I don't know.
I'm looking this up.
actually, I think I can find the tweet quite quickly from.
Special Cybernetic Attack Team.
Oh, yes.
If I search Scat on my computer, I just
Just put the full stops between so it knows you're looking up an acronym.
I should put. Oh yeah, I should.
I assume that's like a shoot 'em up of some kind.
Yeah, it was.
Whether it's horizontal or vertical.
The European version, Action in New York, is almost identical to the American version, besides the title change. So it was changed.
So it's called Action in New York here. And Scat in America. So there's that. An NES shoot 'em up has been brought over. I think they're probably going to stop doing the NES games in like a year or so.
Are there any standout NES games you could think of that you'd like to see on the service still?
I feel like
I'm not that
everything's
clued up on
like
NES games, to be honest.
Secret of Mana, I guess.
Was that an original NES game?
Oh no, oh no, that was SNES. Okay,
Yeah, we're on I'm trying to think of NES games. Oh.
I can think of Little Samson and Mr. Gimmick, but those are pretty obscure and probably
Battletoads,
not likely.
the original Battletoads.
That would be nice, but not gonna happen probably.
I mean, if Donkey Kong
think-
Country be chilling on, then
Do they own Donkey Kong?
No.
But anyway, Super Nintendo stuff.
Well, the smaller title was Peacekeepers, a beat 'em up game. Yeah, it's just a beat 'em up game. Alright, let's move on to the
What are
other.
the other two then?
Well, the first, the two big games, one of them is Mario Super Picross. a Super Famicom exclusive.
I do enjoy Picross, to be honest.
I do them on my phone from time to time.
I used to do a couple, like maybe a year ago, but I haven't done them recently. But they are fun.
It's a sequel to Mario's Picross that came out in all regions on the Game Boy that flopped.
Right.
So they just made Super Picross for the Super Famicom. The other big game is Donkey Kong Country 2 is finally coming.
Oh, that big
Very
one.
nice.
Which means Donkey Kong Country 3 should come in a month or two after that.
Yeah, you'd
I'd
assume.
be happy for that.
Bring the whole trilogy over. That's pretty good.
I very much enjoyed Donkey Kong Country 1 when it was on Switch, like when it was ported over. And Donkey Kong Country 2 is supposed to be just as good. So,
Question.
Yes.
Do they still have the Rare logo, or have they
yes,
edited
they have the Rare logo.
Oh, okay. I was curious about that, because licensing and that.
Yeah, they had the Rare logo.
I tried playing one when it was ported over, but I couldn't get into it. Like I played it for about half an hour, so I'd rather just play one of the newer, like who developed the newer? Was it Retro?
Retro, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the newer, like the one that was on the Wii and the Wii U.
They do a fine job with the series as well.
I played Country Returns actually recently, being it recently on the 3DS.
Ooh.
And yeah, it was well worth extra money for better controls.
Yeah, I played like a bit of it on the Wii, and yeah, the controls were horrible on the Wii. They were atrocious. Like, what is it? You have to shake the controller to roll instead of just being able to press a button. It's probably that decision kills the game because it's really awkward to play.
It would have been nice if you used classic controller, for sure.
Was that not even an option?
No.
Could you only use? Oh, okay. I assumed it was, but I don't have one.
What you could do is you could use a nunchuck that you still
Yeah.
had to shake to roll, so it didn't really help at all.
I think when I played it, I just had the Wiimote on its side and used the D-pad. I don't remember.
I enjoyed like the motion controls like when I was like 9 or 10 when I first got the game. Because you're just like I'm shaking it intensely.
Yeah. It's enough to satisfy a 10-year-old.
Haha, I'm shaking it intensely.
Exact wording.
I will
down
always
the shirt.
defend Wii motion controls, but playing Country Returns is like, yeah, the resolution.
It's not particularly motion control. Oh, sorry.
The resolution and FPS may have taken a little hit, but it's much better for the controls.
I mean, the resolution probably isn't that much of an issue because it's on a smaller screen anyway.
Yeah.
But the frame rate
It was
definitely worse.
It was a solid 30. Like, frame rate doesn't affect me that much, so it's not an issue for me. But I can see people's complaints about it.
It definitely feels nicer at 60. To
Yeah.
me anyway. What were you going to say, Figgy?
I was just gonna say, it wasn't really even true motion control. It's just a simple shake. It's not like it's.
You didn't have to do anything specific.
Wait, yeah.
You just moved.
There
it
was
and it would
motion in
roll.
the shake, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not programmed in a way to actually respond to movement in any meaningful way.
Yeah.
Could the Wii even do
Essentially, just a button press.
that? Without Wii
A
Motion
really
Plus?
awkward, inconvenient one.
Yeah. I died several times because of it. I'd accidentally shake, like if I was moving in my seat or something, like getting up and sitting back down. You would count that as a shake and I'd die. It was very annoying.
The other Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is a very good game.
Yeah, I enjoyed that when I played it.
I picked it up on the Switch. I think it was.
So good they released it twice.
I think I
At a
paid.
higher price than they did originally.
Yeah, I think I paid. I didn't pay full price for it. It was a birthday present,
I don't know.
but it was very pug, and I do like. I have like started playing it again recently because it's very fun.
Yeah, I had it and I played through it, and then at the time I don't think I wasn't getting paid in the next like while, so I was like, oh damn, I need money for something, and I just traded it in. So I'll probably get it on the Wii U again at some point.
It's like 10
Oh, I mean, get
quid
it on
on
the Wii U rather than Switch.
It's 10 quid on the Wii U, you might as well.
Yeah, it's cheaper. I don't really care that much about being able to play it
As Funky Kong.
on the bus or whatever as Funky Kong with the analog stick drifting everywhere.
So the Super Mario 35th anniversary happened.
Yes.
Yes, it did. They did the 3D All Stars. Didn't they? Did they port over the SNES All Stars thing? Or am I just imagining that?
They did put over the SNES All Stars thing.
Okay. I thought
Super
I might have
Nintendo All Stars
imagined
was released on SNES Online.
it. Right.
Was it the Mario World one, or was it the one before that?
Non-Mario World one.
I guess it doesn't matter too much anyway.
Considering
given
Mario
World's on
World
there.
is already on there.
A part of Switch Online. Yeah.
I think there were very trivial differences if people want to get technical, but
Yeah, here we go
For most
again.
people.
I'm not losing any sleep personally.
Yeah.
Now
what
every night
else?
crying over it.
They announced like a Battle Royale thing, didn't they?
Like that's coming out on 1st of
For-
October.
Super
Right.
Mario 35, which is going to have a limited run.
Yeah, it's out till the 31st, yeah, right, of March. The Game & Watch console,
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
a new Game & Watch
It's an
systems
interesting
in
little thing.
production, which will have the original game plus lost levels.
The whole game.
Yeah,
And
both
weird
games.
little Easter eggs.
Yeah, the little Easter eggs and the clock. I think there's 35 of them hidden.
I did order one, but
The issue is...
am I really gonna play through the whole Super Mario Brothers on it? I'm actually not sure.
I doubt it heavily.
I didn't...
I don't know if that's the best way to play it. It's more the novelty.
You could take it into work and impress all of your co-workers.
I think they'd just all kick me.
Have them stunned at your excellence. Yeah, so you've actually ordered one.
Yeah.
Right.
Is this an intervention?
Hello, what have you done?
Yes, we're gonna have to tell you to stop.
Also, I was gonna
Is that also a limited thing? Is the Game & Watch thing limited?
It's a limited production,
I think they've already
Right.
sold out, or I don't know.
which means I have to turn to eBay.
Did you?
Not yet. I'm not doing it until I can, like, get it
I-
for, like, cheap
I
enough
dread to
where
see what scalpers are making people pay for it.
They're probably paying up to 100 for it. Let's face it. Because they're eggheads. Yeah, so 3D World Port is coming.
Not included in the All Stars collection for some reason.
No, no, because they can sell it for 50 quid then.
Would 3D All Stars be able to fit all of them
6
on there?
gigabytes.
Yeah, easily.
How big is the Switch cart?
They're variable, but you can get them like 16 gigs, 32 gigs.
I got a 64 gig SD for, like, under 20, so...
Okay, you would be able to fit them all on, probably. You're right. Because
3D
Mario
World
Galaxy
isn't
would be the only
particularly
one
big.
that would probably be
A bit big.
any decent size.
Yeah, 4 gigs.
Yeah, Mario 64 is going to be like, what, 64 megabytes?
It's less than 60. I think it's
Is it
16
less than
megabytes.
60? Oh yeah, no, 64 is the max for the N64, isn't it?
Funny enough.
And that was only like the big games like RE2. And Sunshine's only going to be like 1.4 gigs, because that's all the GameCube's disc could hold. Well, I don't even know if it has a proper name, like the disc. 'Cause
Proprietary
it's
disc.
proprietary, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know if they gave it a name like GD. Wait, no, GD-ROM is Dreamcast,
That's
isn't it?
Dreamcast.
Yeah. GC-ROM.
Probably.
Bang.
Yeah, definitely call that.
Cube disc.
Yeah, the only one out of the 3 on the collection that would be any decent size would be Galaxy.
I think that's like 4.5 gigs. Or something
Yeah,
like that.
it was a DVD. I don't think it was dual A.
No.
So now there's even less for the Wii U to hold as an exclusive.
It's not Nintendo Land.
Yeah, the real system seller.
I enjoyed
It's
Nintendo
a top
Land.
5.
So did I.
It's a top 5 system, like top 5 games sold by sale.
Yeah.
Was it sold with the black? No, it wasn't sold with the premium.
No, it wasn't.
No, it came with the premium.
Oh,
I'm pretty
Oh,
certain.
okay.
It didn't come with the white one.
it didn't do Wii Sports like numbers of what? The fuck?
That's because the Wii U didn't do Wii numbers.
We made a list of all the Wii U titles, and
Oh
then
yeah, we looked at the exclusives or something, didn't we?
It has
it's
Xenoblade.
it's a little
X,
depressing. I'm not gonna lie.
Yes, Nintendo Land.
I like the Wii U, but
Nin-
there's not much left for it now that the Switch has had so many ports.
Maybe a port of Fatal Frame would be nice, so I don't have to spend that much.
Yeah, Fatal Frame is like £100 because they only came out as a limited edition over here in like a big box, and it's £50 or whatever on the eShop, and it's never been on sale ever.
If they re-release it for 50, I might as well have to like buy the 51 to avoid buying the 100 one if it's so interesting.
I doubt it'll get.
Fatal Frame? Do you mean Project Zero?
I doubt it'll get a port though.
Fatal Frame is the better name though. So.
Yeah.
Oh, easily, yeah. Project
Let's
Zero
just
is such
use
a
Fatal
terrible
Frame.
name.
Yes, 3D World will have a expansion actually. We don't know how big the expansion is, but it will be titled Bowser's.
It would be titled Bowser's what?
Hold on.
Bowser's-
Bowser's Fury.
Sorry.
It's a lot dark. It's a lot more darker tone from like the trailer of it, and the big plus from the port is online multiplayer for the entire game.
That could be fun.
Yes, I can.
I just hope it works.
Yeah, it's probably not because it's Nintendo.
Is 3D World also limited?
No.
Sorry, I think.
3D World is pretty much the one thing that wasn't limited.
Yeah.
Right.
I guess
so
outside of the All Stars Super Nintendo thing.
Yeah, it comes out in February next year.
Oh, they did announce the Mario Kart Tour thing. Not Tour, sorry.
I don't know
Mario
what
Kart
to
Live.
say about that one, to be honest.
Yeah, I had no idea what was happening in that trailer.
Yeah, I was confused. Just like, is this Mario Kart 9 now, or what?
It's an AR take, but I don't know. I don't know what it offers outside of the gimmick. Like, the gimmick looks cool, don't get me wrong, but I don't know if there's going to be less characters to make it compliant with this weird thing they're going for. Or how it's going to feel to control, considering it's got to comply to real-world physics now.
Yeah.
Gonna hit some like sick handbrake tunes in like my living room.
Yeah. 3D All Stars got some flack online.
Yes,
Quite a bit.
some of the glitches are mad.
Oh, I haven't seen anything about
Wait.
the actual game. I've
Are there
literally just
glitches that
seen-
weren't present in the original
No.
versions?
No. Like some contact in Super Mario Galaxy can send you flying across the map.
Oh, cool.
And you know
Oh,
Picky
oh,
Piranha,
cool.
like in Sunshine.
Yeah.
Some guy managed to like sink through the floor of that stage.
To be fair, that happened to me in my regular Sunshine playthrough.
That might just be an emulation bug.
Yes, oh yeah, they're emulated, aren't they?
The first two are... Not the first two, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like
64 and Sunshine are, and Galaxy's like half emulated. I think it's the CPU's emulated, or the GPU.
yes.
One of those two is emulated, and the other one isn't.
I think it's based on like an Nvidia Shield port or something.
Yeah, hold on.
So they ported it over to like the Chinese market on the Nvidia Shield like a couple of years ago. I mean, the one good thing about them being emulated is it means people can probably, I'd expect within like a week or two, will figure out how to inject other ISOs and ROMs into the emulators. So that'll be interesting to see if people can figure out what emulators we used, for example.
What's interesting is people going through like the files of the collection and seeing like the emulators. The N64 emulator had other games mentioned in there,
Right.
which the GameCube did not. And I feel like they're eventually going to do N64 online.
You'd expect it'd be idiotic to stop at
Wasn't
SNES.
Perfect Dark one of the games in question?
Yes.
So
That's,
Which
that's
is-
a toughie.
that's a rare title, so...
Like Microsoft's buddy with like Nintendo, I'm sure they could have made a compromise with Rare.
I did actually I read something interesting about that in the Guru Larry book
Oh,
that
yeah.
I got.
What did it say?
It said that Microsoft rather, offered Nintendo, or Iwata, I think it was, that they could publish all the N64 games they want on the platform, as long as Nintendo helped them acquire the rights to GoldenEye, or use the rights to GoldenEye, to put that on Rare Replay. But Nintendo declined.
GoldenEye's are weird,
Of course they
like,
did.
it's because of the James Bond IP, isn't it?
Yeah, that doesn't help.
Nintendo have the rights to the GoldenEye game in some weird way, or like they own some rights that they wouldn't normally for Rare games. The-
Rare almost did better than Nintendo for the N64, when you look back at it.
It's true.
A lot of the ones people remember were Rare games.
They arguably had the better kart racing game with
Yeah,
the
depending on what you
Diddy
want out of a kart racer. Content-wise, it was definitely more. There's more to it.
You had the Banjo games, GoldenEye, Perfect Dark, Donkey Kong 64, yeah, Conker as
What
well.
was that? Not Blast Corps, is it? Was that Rare? Or was that Rockstar?
Yeah, that was Rare.
Or DMA or whatever.
Rare made Blast Corps.
Okay.
DMA made
What's
Silicon Valley.
Yeah. There's some
Whatever.
there's like an open
Not
world
Silicon
game.
Valley. What was it called?
Space Station Silicon Valley, I think.
That's the one. Thank you.
Yeah, there was some like open worldy kind of thing where you could drive around tanks and stuff that was made by.
That was Blast Corps, wasn't it? Oh
Was it?
no,
Do you
I know what you're
It
thinking.
begins
of.
with a B, I think, which is why I'm getting them confused. I think it was Rockstar or DMA.
Body Harvest, wasn't it, or something?
Yes, Body Harvest. Yeah. It was like an open worldy sort of thing where you could drive cars and everything, which was quite cool.
They also did Killer Instinct Gold for the 64.
Yeah, they had a lot basically.
Can I just break one thing about the 3D All Stars collection up quickly?
Yeah, sure.
I know Twitter's been like mad about it, but I'm still confused why they didn't add Galaxy 2 to it.
Yeah, it's an odd choice.
Yeah, it doesn't even have all the console games then, let alone the handhelds. Handhelds is somewhat forgivable, I suppose, but Galaxy 2 is a very odd omission.
Yeah, I don't know why, because I assume Galaxy 2 runs on the same engine that Galaxy 1 does. It's safe to
Yeah.
assume a sequel would that's on the same console. So they'd already, surely it'd just be a case of, if they could get Galaxy 1 to run, they could probably get Galaxy 2, but they didn't.
Tying into the whole Rare Microsoft thing,
Yeah.
Microsoft just acquired a new company.
Yes, they acquired ZeniMax, which is the parent company for ID Software and Bethesda.
So now Microsoft technically own Doom
Yes.
and Quake, if I'm not mistaken.
Wolfenstein,
Fallout, I suppose they own
Fallout,
as well.
yeah, Fallout, Evil Within,
Elder Scrolls.
all the Scrolls, of course, Starfield, when it comes out.
So they've got a lot of existing series that they can use, and they've also got them. They can have them make a new one, I guess.
I was confused about where this placed the PS5 game.
No, it doesn't change
Bethesda game,
anything.
but
Bethesda are still publishing,
Right.
which is a bit weird, but yeah, I'm assuming it's just because Xbox can give the financial backing now.
But if they're still publishing, they're still being controlled by Microsoft, who could overturn their decisions, wouldn't they?
I don't think Xbox are like that though, but yes, they can.
I mean, I suppose they would get a major backlash if they just rejected PS5 owners a game that they were looking forward to. That probably would not give
Also,
them good
Xbox
PR.
gets money off that PS5 game.
Yeah,
which
in the same way that Minecraft goes on every platform, and Microsoft technically owns that.
I just find it funny that Xbox will get the money for a PS5 game. The deal was worth 7.5 billion.
Are they really worth that much money?
I was thinking about it earlier today. I was going to make the joke that with Fallout 74, it's more like
Or
the sale of a
76
lawnmower,
anyway.
a boot sale, just because the engine's broken. But
Well, the game was Fallout
guess-
76, not 74, so that's kind of
okay, fine.
sorry.
Never
You
mind.
knew what you meant, huh?
2 numbers off. But they've released Doom Eternal since then, so I guess
That will.
it's not as timely.
So Bethesda games will slowly migrate onto Game Pass, and any new Bethesda game that comes out will be day one Game Pass. What was trending on Twitter was Konami and Rockstar. Some, like, a small minority of PlayStation fans asking Sony to, like, buy Take-Two or Konami.
Just buy Take-Two.
Take-Two's like worth 25 billion. They'd never do that.
Yeah, they're big, and they. What do they even publish apart from Rockstar's games? I've never seen their logo. Or I haven't
Their
seen it in a
logo was
while.
on the Castlevania cover.
I always confuse Take-Two with Traveller's Tales. I don't know why.
I've got to admit, I'm ignorant of Take-Two.
Yeah, I only know them as the Rockstar company.
They have 2K,
Right.
Rockstar basically.
Speaking of, speaking of PS5 titles.
The PS5 showcase happened last Wednesday, I want to say.
Yeah, last
How,
Wednesday.
how's everyone feeling about it?
Very good. A lot to discuss.
There is.
And stuff we're gonna avoid. Fortnite.
What's the stuff we're going to avoid, right?
Fortnite. I know we put FNAF in the thing we weren't gonna talk about, but I just like to.
There's not much to talk about. It was
The only thing I want to talk about, it's very impressive how far they've managed to come within 6 years. Like, they've gone from, like, some small mobile game to a full-on big, like, PS5 release. Credit that.
well, we don't actually know what the PS5 release is actually going to look
It's
like.
60
at the moment, do
quid.
Yeah, I assume it's going to be like a.
We know the
bigger,
price,
proper
but
game at 60. You'd assume it'd be like 10 hours or something.
it could not reflect the asking price
Yes.
for all we know.
Find out, I guess.
Alright, so let's move on. The first announcement of the stream was Final Fantasy 16.
Yes.
Well,
Looked a lot
that was-
different to what I was expecting it to look like. It was all grey and grim.
It was very much rumoured before the event, and it made sense to continue it.
Yeah, they're 15 in, they're not going to 15's enough. Or 15
Yeah.
numbered games are enough. Like,
Fifth.
Did it get you guys excited at all?
It looks pretty good. It's in the style of, like, combat's not turn-based, so that's something.
I like the orchestral music.
It looks medieval as so I'm interested in that.
It's like a remix of a earlier track in the series, isn't it? That they played in the trailer.
I don't remember.
I think it sounds like it might have been an NES.
I generally
One.
thought they killed a child halfway through the trailer.
I like the Ice Lady and the Chocobo or Chocobo,
course you
or
like
however
the
you
Ice
pronounce
Lady.
the ostrich thing.
Yeah, Chocobo.
They're cool.
I didn't realise it was a chocolate.
I mean, they're
at
both
some
cool
point
designs.
there. They look so. I always think of them as being yellow, and then it was just like grey. So, well, it's not chocobo. I like that they're focusing more on like the Final Fantasy VII remake kind of combat.
The action RPG genre.
That's just because I prefer that over turn-based. I haven't been able to get into turn-based since I was like 8 or 9 playing Pokemon. Yeah.
I like turn-based.
I like turn-based as well. I've just got to get back into it just because I've got to play.
I also like when they do little twists on turn-based, like in the Mario and Luigi games and
Oh,
Mario
it's like
RPG.
rhythm, kind of.
Oh, and Paper Mario 1 and 1000 Year Door. Yeah, just little ribbon things add to it.
Yeah, that added at the very least that added something to it, which I appreciate.
What was next?
Another look at the Spider-Man kind of sequel.
An extensive look at the new Spider-Man game.
Yeah.
This was weird to me
What about it was
How?
weird? That
because
sounded a bit.
they walk
accusatory.
around like it's a Yakuza game at the beginning, which is a bit odd for a Spider-Man game, I thought. Although, to be fair, I'm not a massive like superhero guy, so
It's-
maybe I'm off base here.
It's a sequel,
And-
but it's not a sequel. It's a continuation.
The bridge scene looked cool, but at the same time, it just was that. It can't play very well if it's just quick time
It's kind of a
events.
shame they didn't show some of the open world gameplay, because that's what most of it's going to be.
Yeah.
But I guess because it's in the same world that the first game was, there's not really much to show,
Yeah,
because you
it's
would have
just the
seen it
same
in the
thing,
first
yeah.
game. So
I would have expected to see a bit more swinging around in
Spider-Man,
real-time gameplay.
just to see how the city looks in like its newer version. I guess it would have been nice.
Something I really much want to mention real quick is it's a launch title.
Yeah.
You've got the regular edition that's 52 quid, or you have the Ultimate Edition, which is 70.
Yeah.
The Ultimate Edition has and I can't believe I'm saying this, remaster of a 2018 game.
Yeah. Which surely that will be backwards compatible anyway.
Yes, but it's got all the DLC. I'll probably play at 120 FPS or whatever, upgraded.
That's nice at the very least. If you hadn't played the first one before, you get
might as
two
well
games.
pick it up. It's got all the DLC as well, so you don't have to... When the armor goes down, like, I'll probably pick that one up, because it just looks cool.
I mean, it might be a thing where you have to buy it new, like it might be a code for the first game. I doubt it's going to be on disc.
Is that all we had to say on that matter?
Pretty
Yeah,
much,
it's a launch title, it's just a continuation of the first game, it looks cool.
Yeah.
If you played the first game, then it's not too much different, it's just a continuation. It's coming to PS4 as well.
Oh yeah, a couple of things they showed are coming to PS4.
There's 3 games that are coming to PS5 and PS4, which is that Sackboy game,
Yeah.
Spider-Man, and Horizon Dawn 2.
Next on the stream was Legwart's Hogacy.
Yes, this game's been rumored for a while now, like a year or two at least.
Yeah, I remember hearing the rumour like a year and a half or so ago and then never hearing it again until it was shown.
Not when, what's it called? You know when Tony Hawk was announced? Like the remasters?
Yeah.
Everyone was saying that game was like, that's when I started reading the Hogwarts rumours again. And then when like they announced Warner Bros. Doing a new game, which was the Batman game, again, the Hogwarts game popped up again. The game is pre-Harry Potter,
Right.
taking place in the late 1800s. They didn't show any gameplay, but I feel like it's in pretty early dev.
I like the monster designs.
Yeah.
Like, as someone who's not really gotten particularly into the Harry Potter series, still
Oh wait, it comes out next year. That's
look
nice to know. You've got to do some lessons or whatever, like go to the school and do stuff, then outside of it you just fight monsters and that.
I wonder if it'll work on like a time system, not necessarily real time, but like in game there's a time and you can like you have to be at certain places at certain times at launch.
Yeah.
Is that all we really want to say on?
Yeah,
Legwart's
I just want.
Hogwarts?
Yeah, I don't have much to say on the Hogwarts Legacy. It looks alright. The monster designs look good.
It's.
I don't know if I'd get it, because I probably won't get a PS5 anytime
I
soon.
need to see gameplay first.
I feel like if you like,
And I'm not a Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Also, that's also coming,
and no gameplay has been
also
shown.
that's
as
coming to Xbox One, PS4 as well.
Oh, okay, never mind then.
Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition.
Right, this is a weird one because it's coming to PS5 and Xbox Series X at launch.
Yeah.
Except it's coming digitally, and the physical version will come out later.
That is an interesting choice.
This is one of the weirdest things I think I've seen. Like, I know...
Is it not redundant on Xbox, given... Well, no, I guess PS5 has backwards compatibility with PS4, doesn't
And
it?
Xbox Series X has backwards compatibility with Xbox One.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
It shows you can play it at 120 FPS, which for an action game sounds really nice.
If you have the screen to support it, is the thing.
I think you gotta play it like 1080p though.
I did hear the other day that the reboot that was much maligned ran at 30 FPS.
At launch it did, yeah.
I'm not sure if... Is that true?
Yeah.
Because that's got to be quite a blow for a game that's heavy on combos like that.
Yeah, every game before it
People
had
like
been 60,
responsiveness.
and then that was 30. But when they ported it over to PS4 and I assume Xbox One too, it was at 60. They upped it for the port. But the original was 30. Which, yeah, like you said, for an action game, 60 is usually the best. So yeah, it can do 120 FPS, which is interesting, I guess, for a console game.
Yeah. They're adding Virgil in from DMC3, which I think is nice.
Yeah,
That'll come as DLC for Xbox One and PS4, and it's just straight up in the game for the PS5 and Series X. everyone's been going on about the track, his battle theme in the game. Like, I can't blame them, it sounds very good. As most music from DMC does. The nice thing about DMC5, it's gonna be £5, and compared to other PS5 games, that's very nice to see. As we'll talk about in a little bit.
So I wonder if 35 is going to become like the new budget price.
Maybe. Honestly, it's 35 on Steam right now.
Right, do we want to move on?
Resident Evil 8.
Yeah, boy.
Oh yeah.
This was a very dark trailer from what I saw. Like,
It was cool.
like they're fully going all out on this one.
It's Resident Evil 4 too.
Right.
Yes, it actually.
4x2.
Yeah, it's kind of taken scenes from Resident Evil 4, of course, with the whole village.
Yeah, it's the obvious thing, and the merchant at the end. First time I saw that trailer, I thought it moved on to a trailer for a different game. Honestly, when it did the style shift to the flashback.
Yeah. Oh, to like the 2D.
Like the little.
Like
It looked like
Coraline.
Coraline
Yeah,
or something.
That's what I thought, Coraline.
Like, oh, this is some kind of artsy indie game.
But
But
was it in
wasn't.
this one that it was like... Was this the first time they'd shown actual gameplay? Or did they show that in the face reveal?
I'm not sure, honestly.
Because I don't...
The lines get blurred at points.
Because like at the very least this showed that it was in first person. I don't remember if the first one did that. But I think everyone assumed it would be first person. Because 7 was. Yes, you're just in a village. Kill some creatures. That's about all they've shown. Chris is in. You don't play as Chris, but you see him.
It's first person again,
Yeah.
which I think is a good change actually for a horror series. I'm assuming it's gonna be VR compatible again.
Probably.
Oh yeah, they didn't really elaborate on that too much, did they?
No.
I mean, they're probably still working on it actually.
I assume
So-
they'll talk about that at a later date. Whether or not it's
Yeah.
VR. But yeah, they just showed more Resident Evil 8, which is nice.
Demon Souls remake. Yes, please.
It looked really good, but I
Visually, yeah.
It's a launch title as well,
That's nice.
but I'd like to. I'll bring up Demon Souls again when we talk about game prices.
I think this might be the remake of Demon Souls might be the most interesting thing for PS5 for me. At least in terms of exclusives. Because Resident Evil 8 is going to come to
Yeah,
Xbox.
As is
Unless I'm
DMC5
mistaken.
is, Hogwarts thingy is.
16 is technically an exclusive with PC.
Yes, console exclusive to PS5, but it's also on PC. Final Fantasy 16, that is. And Spider-Man's obviously exclusive.
But yeah, this remake looks solid.
There's another game we will mention in a second that could be like the top game next year, but that's coming up in a second.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Dark Souls, Demon Souls is just what you'd expect by now. It's the remake of the PS3 game.
How much involvement does it have from the original creators, if any? Because Sony own Demon Souls,
It's done by
and Dark Souls is like Demon Souls with a workaround of sorts, right?
From Software and Japan Studio are working on it.
Bluepoint is, and they're the main people doing it, right?
Bluepoint, who did the thing, like Demon Souls did it, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Bluepoint, yeah, it's Bluepoint, so it'll probably be close to the original team.
PS Plus, they announced like a new tier of that, didn't they?
But it won't actually, there won't be a separate price tier,
Oh,
so it'll just be the same price.
that's nice.
Let me show. It gives you PS4 games like to play straight away.
On PS5. So like you get the PS5.
So you can just download it and start playing.
Yeah.
So I can I'll get the game list up for you.
They showed
Some
it
of
like
the
Uncharted
games.
and stuff, but I don't remember any others.
Bloodborne, Days Gone, Fallout 4, Final Fantasy 15, God of War, Infamous, Monster Hunter World, Persona 5, Ratchet and Clank, Resident Evil 7, Last Guardian, Last of Us Remastered, Uncharted 4, and a couple others.
Right, so quite a good
It's
selection.
some massive games.
Yeah. And the fact that it's going to be the same
Right.
price as it is already is a nice little bit on top.
Oh, the final announcement now.
Yeah, they teased God of War 2.
Well, you heard your big, thick Kratos. It also has a subtitle already, Ragnarok, which I believe actually in Norse mythology means like death of the gods.
Right. Well, that's like the whole premise of the God of War games, really, isn't it? Kratos goes around killing gods. Yeah, there's not really much to talk about. They just showed a logo.
It's coming out next year, actually.
Oh, I missed that bit. Was it a beautiful logo? Was it?
It's just the same one they used for the last one, but blue instead of red.
They didn't get creative with it. They didn't put a flower in the O, or
It's kind of
Not from
it's
memory.
probably not going to do that. With that coming out next year, Sony's probably going to have the best first 12 months of any console. Like ever, surely.
I don't know.
I mean,
That's what I don't know enough about every console's launch to say yes or no. There's also Ratchet and Clank coming out next year, which we didn't mention because it wasn't shown in this. But
I mean, you've got Demon Souls, Spider-Man, Final Fantasy 16, God of War, Horizon, Ratchet and Clank,
a lot of big games, yeah.
all in the first 12 months.
Depending on how good those games are going to be.
Should we talk about the price now?
Pricing, yeah. Pricing's an interesting topic.
Yeah, the physical edition's $450 here, and the digital copy's $360.
Yeah, in pounds, £450 physical, £360 digital. So £90 difference between...
For a disc drive.
For a disc drive.
Yes.
but you're gonna lose a lot of money from not being able to buy used games.
Yeah.
Not being able to sell
Unless
used
you
games as
always-
well.
And also, you'd have to buy PS4 games online on the PS5 store.
Yeah, you can't... Wait, can you not... If you bought them on PSN, on PS4, will they not go over?
They probably will.
Alright, so it's not... If you bought digital this gen... it's not
I
an
would
issue
certainly
then.
hope that is the case. Otherwise,
That'd be really sad if they didn't.
I mean, some games are getting free upgrades, some aren't.
But yeah, £90 for a disc drive is quite the difference.
Quite.
Seeing as they don't cost nowhere near that much to make a disc drive.
We're getting it November 19th, and I believe America, Canada, New Zealand, Australia, Mexico, and Japan are getting it a week earlier.
it feels more like they're trying to incentivize digital rather than try and make it reflect the actual production
I
price.
mean,
Yeah, because they get a lot more money on a digital purchase. than
Make
a
people
physical.
think they're gonna have savings when, in reality, if you're gonna have, a decent library of games, it probably won't end up saving them in the long run.
Xbox Series S is the Xbox's version of the digital console.
It's also weaker, isn't
But the digital PS5 isn't going to have any compromises outside of lacking a disc drive, is
Yeah.
it?
It's not
Or
weak.
will
No,
it?
it'll be the same specs, I believe.
Whereas the Series S is weaker than the Series X.
I think it's almost on. I think the One X might be just similar.
Yeah, it's about on
odd.
par with the One X, but it's not
So
as
it
good as
doesn't.
the Series
It's not
X.
much of a hardware leap. for
It
certain
just
people
plays
unless
next,
they're going for the.
unless they're going for like. Well, you're getting like next gen games still.
Yeah, at the very least you play next gen games probably at 1080p, which is fine for most people. But you might as well just get the better version. Just because in the future, if you still have, when 4K TVs are a lot more common than they are now, like everyone's got one, you're going to want to be able to play the Series X games in 4K.
Yeah, future proof,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah, basically.
I'm assuming
Although by
everyone.
then,
I'm assuming everyone here, with the slight exception of Figgy, would probably prefer a PS5 over a Series X.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Series X, I
fair enough.
Okay.
think.
Can't you saying that? Nah, it's fine. It's just
Huh?
nah, it's fine. It's just.
I can't speak to you anymore, sorry.
We got to kick you out. Xbox isn't too big on the whole exclusive thing.
Yeah, in recent years they've drifted away from it.
And they've just said, PC, here you go. Technically.
Which is more pro-consumer, to be fair.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely. There's no denying that.
exclusive is anti-consumer, but it supports competition.
Well, yeah,
That's-
I can't speak entirely against exclusives, since I do love me some Nintendo.
yeah, so that's the issue when you're mainly a Nintendo fan. You can't really complain about other people doing exclusives. Well, pretty much all of your first-party games and some third-party is just going to be exclusive.
Is that it for PlayStation
that's-
Digital? I guess there's a few.
The game prices
Oh.
is something I want to
Game
bring up
prices.
quickly. Hold on. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I've also got the launch titles up to sort my argument out on why this is annoying. So there are 8 games coming to on launch title. Astro's Playroom is going to be free because it's preloaded. We'll talk about the free digital Fortnite and DMC5 are going to be digital release for now. I'm sure Fortnite will have some bundle at some point.
Fortunately, yes, probably.
Yes. I'd like to the other Demon Souls is 70 quid.
It's
Yep.
a lot of money. For a standard edition release of a game, that's a lot of money.
For a PS3 remaster.
Especially, it's a remake, to be fair. But
Also,
still, it's a lot of money.
yeah, Godfall, I believe, is just straight up 50 because that's on Epic Games. Spider-Man, as we said, is 52. A Sackboy platformer being 60 quid. I'm not happy about that. That means Ratchet will also be 60 or 70. I must apologise to Five Nights at Freddy's right now.
Why?
The 60 quid was a placeholder, it's 40.
Oh, that's nice.
That's reasonable. Well,
If,
I don't know what you're getting for
if
the
the rest of the games
£40,
are
but
going up £40, it's pretty good, considering.
I suppose the start of a new console generation is the time that they would try to crank up prices of video
Yeah.
games.
It started
It
started off with NBA saying, yeah, we're putting 10 quid on to begin with. It's just I remember when they were 50 at the beginning of PS4, and now they're the 70. It's mad what they can get away with.
I'm really curious to see a line graph representing the average price of games compared to inflation over time.
I mean, yeah, because you think games that were £60 or £40, sorry, I mean, in the 90s, and if with inflation, that's going to be way more than what £40 is now.
I mean, I'm sure games must be getting more expensive to produce
Yes,
with
definitely.
more technology because
Yeah,
spectacle.
that's
and
why
that,
they're
but
going up. That's
still.
why they're going up.
It's understandable.
I feel like I'd rather not have so much spectacle and have more gameplay, or have smaller prices for games.
Well, luckily with PlayStation games, they go down relatively quick.
Yes, in about a year it'll probably be a third of the price.
Which is
That's
very
typically
nice.
what happens.
I wasn't expecting to see an Oddworld thing, because I haven't heard from Oddworld in a while.
It's you know how New and Tasty was kind of a remake kind of thing of the first game.
Yeah,
Soulstorm is just kind of a retelling of the second PS1 game, as they're trying to restart the series, so they're doing New and Tasty, then moving to Soulstorm.
okay. I heard some mixed things about New and Tasty.
That's coming to Switch next month, I believe. It's getting a port, which is nice for some Switch fans, I guess.
Deathloop looks to have an interesting gameplay mechanic in it, but
I like
don't think I'd get it.
It's one of the Bethesda games. But
I liked the style the trailer used, like the grindhousey sort of style that they went for.
yeah,
I thought it looked quite nice, but obviously the game isn't going to be like that. That's just for the trailer.
we have a question here of what was your favourite thing announced at the event?
Well, Resident Evil 8, but that's something I'd get on Xbox. That's
Yeah.
not an exclusive. But in terms of exclusive, I'd say the Demon Souls remake looked really quite nice.
I'd also have to go with Demon Souls.
I'm looking at it. I'm reading the list. Probably that Spider-Man game,
Yeah,
because Demon Souls isn't my thing. I don't like the gameplay.
yes, it's
Um,
not the easiest
Spider-Man's-
game.
Spider-Man's my favourite thing out of those. I don't even like the character that much particularly. I just like the gameplay. It's a nice big. You get to swing around as Spider-Man in a big open world.
That's
It's
pretty fun.
guaranteed to be at very least good.
Like from the
It is a promising idea.
the hour I played at your house with Spider-Man, it was very fun. Like just to
Yeah,
like
the PS4 game was really fun.
just exploring the like place was fun. Like the world.
Yeah. So yeah, that's probably my favourite.
I just love.
And you two both said Demon Souls, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Alright, let's move over
I think that's
to
it for PS5, isn't
the very next day.
On to Nintendo Direct.
it? Nintendo
Mini
Partners
Direct, rather.
Showcase 1.5 HD Remix Birth by Sleep.
Yes, this
I think that's what they call it now, isn't it?
Yes, this was the third of their partner showcases, and this was the first one that was live streamed, actually out for
Right.
free. And there's only one.
Is that just because they did the Monster Hunter thing?
There was a Monster Hunter Direct after it, yeah. That's why they did it.
Yeah.
So to start off the showcase, we had 2 new Monster Hunter games. Very nice. Monster Hunter Rise is just a new game in the series. What do you want me to say?
Wow.
Capcom's the Monster Hunter.
It's a
just
new
that, is
game
it?
in the series.
Like, I mean,
They should put that on the box.
you can say that about anything,
Isn't it?
right?
It's just a new game in the series.
what do you want me to?
Must play.
Resident Evil 8, new game in the series.
Well, I don't know what.
Spider-Man, new game.
Well, Monster Hunter is like the Rise game is just gonna be like.
Didn't get a rise out of you.
Oh, I was happy for it. It's just I'm glad Monster Hunter's back on Nintendo systems again, because it's always been off, like on and off of that the system. Like you had 1 and 2 being on PS2, 3 being on Wii, 4 being on 3DS, then World
There was a
being on
PSP one
Xbox
released.
One and PS4. So to go like. I'm happy for it. I'll probably pick up at some point.
I'm more interested to play Ultimate still.
Yeah, it's Generations.
But
Monster Hunter Stories 2 is nice. It's a sequel to the 3DS. Like I think it's just like an RPG basically. Like
it really gave me Pokemon vibes.
yes,
the way
it's
it
kind of
looks.
like the first game was like that a lot. It was a lot.
It looks stunningly. I was like wondering if it was a weird crossover thing or something before the title came up.
It's got a more cuddly twist. Like it's like you don't kill monsters this time.
Monster Hugger.
No, is it?
No, they didn't say that.
That would be an alright spin.
Yeah, you don't you don't hunt monsters this one. You're like, in the first game you had to like steal eggs from caves,
Oh yeah.
which is a weird RPG.
Egg Hunter.
Okay. The next game here was Fitness Boxing 2.
Do you care to explain why that is in interesting stuff?
Yeah.
Yes, I want to know how.
Whereas this guy is in not sure if interesting stuff.
Yes, I want to know why it's got a sequel.
Yeah, why didn't they just update it or something, or make a DLC pack?
Yeah. It's Nintendo published.
Oh, that's why then,
So-
that makes sense.
I hope the comments are nothing but fitness boxing fans flaming.
Also,
They're changing so much in the series. Did you not watch the trailer?
it's a really cool concept, to be fair.
Mm.
It's like it's just a boxing rhythm game Like, you use your Joy-Cons to, like, throw punches and dodge maneuvers. It's good exercise, I'll give it that.
Yeah.
From the demo I played.
I could do with it, probably.
Just walk around when you play Animal Crossing. Or play Pokemon Go. Bang. Hades. That came out, didn't it? Like, did that come out on the day it was announced?
Oh, Hades, it said available later today.
Yeah.
Okay.
It looks fairly interesting to me.
Made by the Bastion people, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been in what's called early access for 2 years, and now it's finally come out of it. It managed to sell over 1 million copies during that time, including on Switch now.
Oh.
It's very highly critically acclaimed now.
I'm gonna check that out. Is it on Xbox? Would it be on Game Pass, I wonder?
No, it's PC and it's
I'll find out
PC and
later.
Switch only.
Oh, okay.
And let me check the price of it. I think it's like under 20. It's like just under 20. Yeah, it's highly critically acclaimed right now.
Oh, it's on Steam store page.
Yeah,
On the front page as soon as I open Steam.
yeah, that sounds about
I heard you
right.
talking about it.
But yeah, it looks cool, and I'm interested, obviously. So
Looks like a cool dungeon crawler. Yeah, currently 16 quid. That ain't bad at all.
Balan Wonderworld.
You can talk about this one more than we can.
You guys not interested in it at all?
I am.
I
like,
forgot
I
about
think
it.
it
I
looks
have no
very
idea what it
cool.
is.
It's
I just want to. I want to say, it doesn't look like a Square Enix game to me at all. Which I
Right.
guess doesn't mean much because Tomb Raider is now Square Enix, and that was obviously not theirs before.
And Avengers is Square Enix technically.
But you know how Yooka-Laylee, it's like a new company started up to try and mimic the style of a previous game. It's given me
Yeah.
that, but even more of a feeling of that when it comes to Knights and the Sonic series.
Right.
It's surreal. It just feels like it should be a Sega game.
It's got like 2 legendary Sega people working on it, I believe.
I mean, it won't be an issue or affect my enjoyment of the game. Well, if I do enjoy it. It looks to embrace 3D more than Knights truly did.
It's being directed by the producer of the Sonic Adventure games,
Who's that?
Yuji Naka.
Didn't he just do most of the Sonic games?
Yeah, pretty much most of the Sonic games, yeah.
But yeah, it's something I'm going to look out for sure. But I'll probably get it on Xbox rather than Switch. As I imagine there'll be less compromise on that.
You'd expect.
Was it? What consoles is it coming? Yeah, it's coming out for everything. March 26th. Next year.
The last thing, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, as it's written in the document.
No, it's not.
But it's Ori and the Will of the Wisps. There's no point in changing it. And they shadow dropped.
Oh, Will of the... I thought it was
of
Wooler of the Wisps.
Yeah, they ported Ori 1 onto the console earlier in the year. And I know the second one came out earlier this year as well.
They've now
So
brought that over to me.
it was eventually gonna come.
You see the
but,
box?
yeah, they did the funny shadow drop.
It shows like a limited edition box kind of thing for both games.
That's $150.
Get a life, what?
It's filled with glowy effects.
150? That's ridiculous.
But it has both of the games physically.
So?
I don't know. It's not worth it.
What?
Yeah, I know.
It's ridiculous.
I don't know much about Ori. It's acclaimed, but
It's a
it just looks
Metroidvania,
like
I
it's a
think.
bunch of Adobe After Effects to me.
The art style looks very, very nice. Well,
There's a demo for the first one on the Switch.
It looks very well acclaimed. And it's nice to see it come over to Switch.
Is it owned by Microsoft?
Yeah, it is actually. Microsoft published.
The first one is exclusive to Xbox for a bit. And then they ported it over to everywhere else.
I think PlayStation hasn't had any Ori at all. It's just PC, Xbox, and Switch. Yeah, that was all the interesting stuff. A Monster Direct.
Fitness Boxing 2 was not more interesting than Disc Eye 6. Or even Empire of Sin, I'm sorry.
Empire of Sin was interesting just because the trailer.
I think Fitness Boxing. I just put it there because I think it was funny they somehow got a sequel.
Okay, fine.
Bro, I find it funny how PGA 2K21 got a sequel. We should have put that in interesting.
Disguise 6 looks okay.
I just wouldn't have. Yeah.
I don't understand why the numbers are so big. Like, it was making a fuss about how you could get your character up to level like 99999 or whatever. But
Yeah.
I feel like that, I don't know. I guess it's just a presentation thing, so it's not worth getting, all fussed up about. But surely it just devalues the numbers to the point where you might as well have just made it a moderate, like 99, like every other RPG.
Yeah, that's what I've never understood about that kind of stuff. You make it a huge number, but then it gets to a point you might as well have just made it a small one.
What was it? They said they ported Disgaea 5 as well?
Disgaea 5 is like, you can play it if you're a Nintendo Switch Online member for a limited time.
Yeah. That was
they're doing
neat.
like a trial.
That's neat when people do a free trial with a subscription sort of thing.
Yeah, Empire of Sin.
Empire of Sin just looked funny to me.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how intentional that is. I don't know if it's
I don't think
Yeah.
it was meant to be intentional.
Yeah, I don't think it's supposed to be
It's
fun.
hard to take seriously though, seeing someone in a 1920s flapper outfit.
I think that's
Well-
what you call it. Not too sure.
Yeah, it was just...
It didn't look right seeing her holding a Tommy gun and having gun violence going on. It's very
It's not what you normally associate with that kind of, like, character.
If they're going for it, fair enough. Like if it's supposed to be a lollipop chainsaw kind of thing.
Yeah, the trailer was amusing, at the very least.
I'm gonna look up Empire of Sin. I want to see
You want to give it a fair shot?
Empire of Sin on Steam. Upcoming strategy video game. Oh, it's coming out on pretty much everything. Even Mac
Right.
OS
Oh,
and Switch. Oh wait, this
one of
was
the 3
Switch,
games
sorry.
on Mac.
Mob Bosses. Prohibition Era. It's not really saying anything particularly interesting.
Maybe it's not particularly interesting then.
That's why we put in a lot of interest. Well,
I think that's a bit harsh. Maybe I'm just being softer. Prohibition era ideas behind Emperor Sin have been something she wanted to do for 20 years. Wait, what? It's being developed by wife and husband team Brenda and John Romero of Romero Games.
John Romero?
John Romero worked on this.
Is that just like a name coincidence, or is it actually John?
No, it's
Romero?
the John Romero. Like, clicking on Romero Games, the Wikipedia article, and then clicking on John Romero, it's the John Romero.
Really? So him and his wife made it.
Yeah.
Empire of Sin.
Well, I did not know that or expect that.
They didn't make that much of it. I thought they'd make a bigger fuss out of it.
John
Yeah,
Romero is
the
going to
John
make you his
Romero.
1920s sweetheart.
Empire of Sin, buy it today. Yeah. That's odd. There's a sniper Elite 4, nobody cares.
Who
I
cares?
was convinced this was a mobile game halfway through the ad. Like the video.
I don't remember it. Oh yeah, the tanks on the beach and that, wasn't it? It didn't
On
look
the
great.
boat or something. I don't remember.
Neither did PGA
Along-
Tour, 2K21.
Oh, yeah, that was...
Yeah,
it
I
didn't
mean,
look nice.
I know
It didn't run very
of course
nice.
they're porting it, but it's like, ugh.
You think they'd do what the FIFA games are doing, where like it's running on an older engine and it doesn't look as nice, but it's like updating the characters and stuff. And they could just sell it at a cheaper price, but no.
FIFA doesn't sell at a cheaper price. That's the fun part.
Yeah. And then Rune Factory 5, I've never heard of that in my life. I don't even remember seeing the trailer for it.
So it's
I
an
don't know.
RPG with a farming simulator.
Oh,
It looks okay.
It was a series that started off on the Nintendo DS. It's just some like generic RPG, like some farming like thing involved. You can marry, so
so it's just Stardew Valley then.
Well, presumably it's had some success. This is the 5th one.
Maybe they're making a joke and their first game is called Room Factory 5.
Yeah, like Fallout 3 was the first one.
I've always liked it when people do that. When like the first thing in a series is numbered like 3 or something. I just find it really funny.
Why was that like the basic troll that people did on the internet for the longest time?
What, naming something?
No, pretending that they were ignorant of Fallout 1 and 2.
Oh. I guess it must really annoy the people who played Fallout 1 and 2. Like they swear by the first two and they're just not even acknowledging that it exists.
I guess.
It's quite funny though.
I know we moved past the Bethesda thing, but technically Bethesda and Obsidian are sister developers now.
Right.
And Obsidian was the devs behind New Vegas, and now, well, I just want New Vegas too, please. I feel like it's probably
I don't know.
like Obsidian made what's called Outer Worlds because they couldn't make a Fallout game.
It's time
So
for
now-
New Vegas.
Yeah, old New Vegas. Like old New York.
And that was it for the
Nice yawn.
the partner showcase.
I'm sure that keeps the adrenaline flowing.
Yeah. Really reinforces how energetic this is.
Come on, Ryan, get pumped up. It's PS5,
Yeah.
things are happening. New generation, Xbox, games.
Video
XD.
games. XD.
Xbox Series XD.
Don't say that, they're gonna get ideas.
The D stands for deluxe. It's just the X deluxe. It's an incredible
The sad
decision.
thing is that makes more sense than some of the naming conventions.
Yeah.
Xbox naming conventions don't make sense at all.
How is a single console a series?
I think it's just going to be like... I don't know. Because when they announce a new Series X, people are like, what? It's going to be like the 3DS thing, isn't it? Where they made the new 3DS.
Have we covered all the topics?
We covered all the news for this week.
I think we've done everything.
What else did we want to discuss? If anything in particular?
We'll have to work on like the topic ideas we put down. We'll probably start doing them from November onwards.
Yeah, once we've done
Yeah.
the Halloween thing.
So, thank you. Thanks for listening to our podcast draft thing.
The pilot.
What was the question thing you asked at the start? You said, like, ask questions.
Ask us any questions you want in the comments section below.
Yeah, if anyone has any questions they'd like to ask us about anything relating to gaming in general, just feel free to ask it in the comments below, please. We'd love to hear feedback, suggestions to make the show better.
Yes. If you get any
We hope
questions.
you enjoyed. And
Feel free to subscribe and like and turn on notifications for next month's episode.
Ryan,
No, we have to.